He was he wrote a children's book with a turtle shooting a rocket launcher at little boats from a helicopter, you know, as if he was the guy who was doing all this. But now when it comes to, oh, he could be charged by The Hague for a war crime, yeah, he's going to, he threw the admiral under the bus. But again, Trump warns land strikes in Venezuela could come very soon. News Nation is reporting this, Fox News reporting this, all the news outlets are reporting this. You know, he's saying this right after yesterday. This all seemed like it was blowing up in their face. You know, Keg's breath knew he double tapped the survivors, two survivors on a little boat that was hit. The admiral that was in charge of that area in the Caribbean retired the same day before the admiral that ordered the double tap took over. And now we're seeing that admiral retired because he knew he was being given illegal orders. So they found another admiral that would take these orders. Man, this is not good for the Navy that I love, the military that I love serving in so much. So, what does that where does that leave us? What is that doing for the average Joe, you know, average Jane working out here in middle America, anywhere in America, especially here in Hardin County, you know? Is it worth sending our troops in to Venezuela so that we can get all their oil reserves, you know, since they got the world's largest left? Are we just going to ignore these war crimes that are being put out there and committed in order to get us into a war, claiming that we're going to now go fight narco terrorists? You know, when we just released a narco terrorist back to Honduras who didn't even serve a full year of his 45-year sentence. You know, again, it's just ludicrous, but day after day, we're just pushing it to the brink. You know, president says he knew nothing about this war crime that was committed. Keg's breath throws an admiral under the bus. Four-star admiral, Navy SEAL admiral to boot. You know, some of the smartest folks I ever served with. You know, you don't get into special operations in the military, especially not SEALs, Army Special Forces, also known as Green Berets, um, MARSOC, Force Recon. You don't get into these jobs, these MOSs, without having some real brain power, top of the top. So it kills me to see someone go down like this that served the nation for so many years so honorably. And now we're going to let him be thrown under the bus, you know, um, just so we can go on ahead with this war in Venezuela. Are we really willing to allow what's now a blatant misuse of our power to go grab oil? Are we going to allow this to stand? We, you know, my brother lost his leg and hand in Afghanistan. We should have been in there and out of there when went in right after the attack happened. But no, he had to go in there 6 years later, go back to Afghanistan, because when I came back from Afghanistan, oh, we decided we were going to go into Iraq, waste all that time that we did there, let Afghanistan regroup, you know, and man, we could have had the whole mastermind of the attack on America captured, killed, and had it all wrapped up. And just a year, 2, 3, instead of staying there 20 like we did, losing all the lives, all the limbs, all the PTSD that was engendered from those 20 years. Now we're going to jump into something else south of our border for oil. Come on, guys. Well, we can do better. We're doing better. Right here in our county, we are producing batteries for renewable energy vehicles. Heck, I'm been driving Chevys, Fords all my adult life. And I am so pleased to, and well, even Rams. I traded my Ram truck in for an electric Chevy. I never regretted it. And I plan on buying another one as soon as possible. Why do we need to go sacrifice our young men and women for oil? We can do better. We deserve much, much better. We also do not deserve to go throwing taxpayers' money into such an endeavor. We already had a shutdown that showed us how much this country really cares about the poor, how much this country really doesn't care about medical care for folks who aren't rich. What are we doing now? Going to go throw money, more money down into South America? Giving $40 billion away to Argentina wasn't enough? Come on. Giving all of our market away, the agricultural market that we were strongest in, beef market, soybean market, just giving that away to Argentina, that's not enough. What more do we need to hand over to South America? And I love where I've visited in Latin America. Don't take this wrong, but I definitely don't think we need to hand more money to a war south of our border. Anywhere south of our border, anywhere north of our border, we don't need to do it. We don't need to cook up some harebrained scheme so that the military industrial complex can make money off of our young men and women, or off of our old men that stay in as long as I did, whole career. God, I enjoyed the adventure the whole time. Still have great memories of it. But it's not worth the nightmares either. It's not worth the pain and suffering of losing a brother who lost his leg and hands in Afghanistan and then became one of the 22 a day. Well, not even 5 years later. And I said my dad had to find him hanging in the closet. And then the next year, I buried my dad because Agent Orange gave him cancer 2 years in a row, right after he found my brother hanging in the closet. Now, my family sacrificed enough, and I love all the sacrifices I've been able to make for my country because I love my country. I'm proud of what I did, what we did to keep our country secure and to make it great like it is. Didn't need a president to make it great for me. I made it great. Everyone I served next to made it great every single day, and they still do. So it's time for us to remember who really makes America great. It's not the politicians. It's you and me, the American working man and woman. Every single day of this nation, we make it great. It is great. It's great because of us. It's our sweat and tears that make this country what it is. It's not anybody that leads a country that doesn't give a crap about it, but has parties with naked girls in martini glasses on Halloween while the poor folks go starving in America. Now, that guy's not making this country great. And if you think he is, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to sell you. Come on up. Let's do it. Come on, guys. The grift just keeps on grifting. How many of us have to be sacrificed before we realize, now we've been sold a crappy bill of goods? You know, how much more does it take? You know, do you have to lose your brother, your father to wars that made little sense at times in the end? I knew while I was in Afghanistan when I went right after the attack happened, but why did my brother have to lose his leg and hand there 6 years later when we should have done everything we needed to do when I went in? That's when we should have been able to unleash total fury, total hell, grab the guy who was the mastermind of the attacks and gotten the heck out. But we didn't. Instead, we went off to another country, started a war there in Iraq, started a boondoggle there. We still don't get all the oil out of that we were hoping we would. But boy, that military industrial complex made a lot of money between Iraq and Afghanistan. Like I said, then by the time we went back to Afghanistan, they had already regrouped, redoubled, and they were entrenched. And it was just a boondoggle, a waste of money for the next 14 years after my brother lost his leg and hand. And he didn't even live to see the end of the war that he had survived until, like I said, he took his own life. Nah, don't want to see it. Anybody else? Don't want to see anybody else's dad die from things like Agent Orange, like my dad did when he died in the VA in Lexington, Kentucky. I don't want anyone else to have to go to a hospital with their wife and their son crying while they watch their dad on life support, unable to open his eyes and understand that his son and his beloved daughter-in-law and beloved grandson are there by his side as the VA says, hey, we want you to make this decision of whether we can let him go or not and pull the plug. I don't want that for anyone else. No matter how much I love the adventure I had in the military, loved all of the benefits I got and I still get from my service. But come on, y'all. Enough's got to be enough. I know too many people who voted for this guy because they thought he was going to be the guy to end all wars, not create war crimes and take us into any war he can imagine and drum up on within our country and outside of our country. Come on. Come on. All right, y'all. Love your neighbors as yourself. We are our brother's keeper. We are our sister's keeper. God bless you, corazon. Have a great night.